John Adams faces the death penalty in North Korea. Martin North, John Adams, in the interests of the people. It is with great trepidation that I bring you the most alarming news about in the interests of the people's resident provocateur, John Adams. As I mentioned to you in a previous video from August last year, The Secret Life of John Adams not only has a knack of getting himself into trouble, but more times than not, he often seeks it. On occasions, I've attempted to temper Adams' flair for drama and danger, often advocating a softly trodden approach. Perhaps it's my English Oxford nature. However, as many of you would know, Adams is too headstrong and brash, oftentimes too much for his own good. Time and again, Adams has been warned repeatedly not to concern himself with matters that are best left untouched. Such warnings have fallen on deaf ears. One would think that someone with 3 dependent children would think of their welfare first, but no, Adams is not like that at all. Adams has an irrational kamikaze obsession to pushing the boundaries in ways that others have not attempted in recent years. He claims that this obsession is tied to his commitment to the public interest. However, I have wondered whether something else is really going on. I guess only time will tell. Now, I have suspected for some time that at some point Adams would get himself into some serious life-altering trouble, perhaps similar to other YouTube personalities who are currently hiding in the Russian consulate in Sydney, hiding from the New South Wales police. I mean, one person's luck tends to run out at some point, doesn't it? Naturally, I've attempted to shield myself from the whims and follies of Adams. The world does not need 2 Don Quixotes tilting aimlessly at windmills, especially at my age. It can hardly be surprising that the sharp tongue of Adams has lashed one too many people in positions of power. Recently, not only did Adams call former Prime Minister Scott Morrison a tyrant, but he attempted to call out Senator Rennick, a hero of thousands of Australians, for perceived public failures committed in 2020, as well as accusing the senator of lacking the courage to implement unpopular economic policies to bring inflation and cost of living pressures under control. Not surprisingly, Senator Rennick and Adams have yet to speak by phone after their most recent brutal public exchange, hosted on my Walk the World channel. With this in mind, Adams did something today which is the most controversial thing to date. Some of you may have noticed that Adams has been relatively quiet over the past weeks, with an episode here or there. This is because Adams has been working on a highly sensitive confidential document which possesses a highly damaging secret about Australia's ruling elite concerning the package. The package which came to be and is still Adams' obsession. The struggle concerning the package is far from over. Importantly, I can confirm that I have read the document and it is very powerful. It goes to the heart of the public interest. Adams once again has produced a highly provocative document. Many of you will recall that on 21st September 2022, Adams and I broadcast our most sensitive show to date that revealed the package, the 608-page report of alleged misconduct. And you may recall that Adams indicated that the package involves a political dimension. You may also recall that Adams submitted the package on 6th of April 2022, and ASIC commenced an official criminal investigation because the evidence which Adams was able to assemble painted a highly alarming and damning picture. Adams received confirmation of the official investigation from ASIC investigators in July 2022, and this was reconfirmed in November. 7 months on, and despite undeniable evidence, ASIC remains quiet and the investigation supposedly continues. Adams has received no correspondence from ASIC that the investigation has come to an end or that his allegations have been proved untrue. So Adams sits and waits to see what will become of his package and whether the grand conspiracy he was told of in 2021 is true or not. However, what I confirm to you today is that the package and the ASIC investigation is unlike any other investigation in Australian history. This package has tentacles into Australia's ruling elite. How the elite got embroiled in the Adams grand conspiracy investigation remains unclear, but their footprint is undeniable, and the implications of these footprints are profound. The question now is whether ASIC has the institutional freedom and confidence to perform its duties in the face of the association with the ruling elite, or whether the ruling elite will either stop ASIC from doing their job, or will ASIC be too afraid from the potential repercussions and retribution. Many people within this audience believe that our system of government is compromised and protects the rich and powerful. The Adams document goes to the very heart of this proposition. Thus, I can confirm that Adams today submitted his confidential document to the Senate Economics Reference Committee inquiry into ASIC, where he names one individual within Australia's ruling elite who possesses immense power. Adams has a series of compromising photographs and images of this individual and goes to some length to explain the significance of the photos. Adams has provided the inquiry with a series of questions which he suggests the committee should explore about this particular individual and whether this individual should retain their power or not. While Adams has taken this provocative step, not only was he advised not to do so, he was told by legal professionals from within his camp that if he was to take this step, they would have no choice but to disassociate themselves from Adams. Such threats and ultimatums don't work with Adams, though, never has and never will. If Adams is required to stand alone to face the enemy, then so be it. So what now? Well, given the actions of Adams, the question now is whether the inquiry will accept Adams' confidential supplementary submission or whether they'll reject it given its sensitivity and controversial nature. The clerk of the Senate has confirmed to Adams that his confidential submission will attract absolute parliamentary privilege, meaning that what Adams has told Parliament is fully protected from any type of civil litigation through the courts, for example, defamation. The decision to accept or reject the Adams submission will be a key test for the inquiry as to whether this is a genuine attempt at exposing the truth or whether this inquiry will once again sweep Australia's glaring problems under the carpet. Let there be no doubt that what Adams has revealed to the federal parliament today, if attempted in North Korea, would result in the death penalty, a summary execution. That's not an exaggeration or hyperbole. In many totalitarian regimes, such as modern-day Iran, Nazi Germany, Saddam Hussein's Iraq, or Stalin's Soviet Union, speaking out against the regime or exposing secrets or embarrassing material is intolerable. The supreme leader and their inner circle are always portrayed as godlike figures, as smart, strong, ethical, benevolent, and hard-working. They are perfect human beings, often representations of God on earth. Subjects must obey and worship the regime no matter what. Disloyalty is out of the question. It was only in 2014 that the uncle of North Korea's supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, was executed by firing squad for committing tremendous crimes against the government. What Adams did today could only be described as a tremendous crime against the ruling elite. You may ask, why did Adams commit this act today, the 30th of January? What's so special about this day that Adams committed such an act of treason against Australia's ruling elite at this very moment? For those aware of history, today in the year 1649 is when King Charles I was executed by the people of England after the conclusion of the English Civil War for treason against the people and the nation. So today is symbolic and represents that even those in power, in some cases absolute power, are not above the accountability of the people. To Adams, all men and women are created equal. All must be answerable for their actions. All must be punished if they commit crimes. Above all else, the truth must prevail, as God has ordained that the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will set us free. So in conclusion, Adams said a few weeks ago that 2023 will be the year of the revolution, the year that heads must roll. And Adams promised us that this is the year that he would go all in and hold nothing back. Adams said that the package would either be his greatest victory or his greatest defeat. So Adams has committed the most daring and controversial act of his life. If you think you have seen it all, you ain't seen nothing yet. Adams has just told the federal parliament about a big secret, and in doing so has risked the life, liberty and property of himself and his family. There is no going back from this. The credibility and the safety of Adams hangs in the balance. Dare I say that at the year end, someone is going to lose their heads. Let's just hope it's not Adams. In the interest of the people, we'll be here to the very end, come what may. So stay tuned here to see whether the Adams Revolution or the execution of Adams occurs before your very eyes.